What's going on, traders? I know you guys are ready for today. We got an epic show. We're going to get into an interview. We're going to celebrate International Women's Day a day late, but still going to celebrate it. We're going to bring on three traders that I know that I've been watching growing in the Twitter community. If you guys haven't seen them before, definitely you're going to find out who you guys should probably be following today. So stay tuned right here on Money Mitch. And of course, let's smash the like. Let's get it started. It's time for Money Making Mitch. When investors need a story, we're going to the moon. Welcome to Money Mitch, where story is everything. I'm here to find you the next opportunity. It's all about the green hands. Now we all know the bull market is here to stay. Money Mitch. All right, traders, how we doing out there? Let's go ahead. Let's get it started. If you can do me the favor, smash up those likes. I know we're going to get into a great interview today. Let me know what you guys have. If you guys have a question, we'll definitely get to some of those. We're going to go ahead and bring on our guests now. First up, I have to say I got to bring this person first because she really was the first that we kind of started bringing on and interviewing. I still remember having her options show and kind of doing a little producing in the background. So first up, none other than Masi Trades. What's going on? How we doing?
Hi, good. How are you?
It's good to have you on. Definitely, we're going to go ahead and get into a great interview. One of the things that I love having is traders that I can really watch grow. And there's one thing I definitely have been seeing is you continue to grow. And, unfortunately, we lost you on Benzinga, but we can still follow you. So definitely let's go ahead. Let's bring on our next guest here. You guys might have seen her on my show before. None other than, of course, Honeydew in the house. How we doing?
Hi, I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing great. Welcome back. It's great to have you on the show again. And of course, none other than we can't go without some swing action. I mean, you guys know I'm a swing trader, so we got to bring on the swing pony in the house. What's going on?
Hi. Not a lot of swinging these days. I'm going to tell you that.
I know. I got to hear all about how it went from swing pony to option pony. Sounds like it.
Scalp pony, man.
Hey, well, in this market, I can't blame you for being a scalper. I mean, come on.
I know.
Let's go ahead. Let's get right into the questions. Of course, what I want to talk about today is really not necessarily specifically on how you guys trade every day, but more along the journey, because I know that I've gone through the journey of, battling through trading, and whether that be learning or battling in social media world. I know that it's the ups and downs. We've all had the journey. So let's go first. I like to ask you guys, what brought you to finance? What actually got you to even looking at the stock market? I'll start first with Masi, and then we'll work on over.
So to be honest, I worked at JP Morgan. That was my last corporate job that I worked at, and I was there for a year, and they gave us JP Morgan stock. And after that kind of spurred my interest in the stock market. Before that, I had no knowledge about the stock market. I had no care about the stock market. And there was a couple of people I knew, a couple of my friends that were in the market as well, long-term investors. And that's kind of what piqued my interest. And I was really tired of the corporate job. So I decided to just jump right in.
Excellent. So let's go ahead. Let's continue down. Let's go to Honeydew. What brought you to finance?
From friends there, I remember when I first started, Doge was really not big yet, and they were talking about Doge and they were talking about Robinhood, and so I just kind of made an account and bought some. And I remember getting really into it was when Doge started going up. When Elon, no, it wasn't Elon. It was a TikTok video that kind of made it pop. And I made my first $300, and I just fell in love then.
Hey, I can't blame you. I mean, especially in the Doge run. I mean, if you're able to catch that, who wouldn't get excited? Let's go to Swing. Now, Swing, I know that we've had you on. You've run your own show. What got you really started in this whole journey that you're now in?
So it's a tale as old as time. It all started with a Robinhood link that somebody sent me. Classic COVID retail trader. We all share the same beginnings. But yeah, he sent me a link. I knew nothing about trading. I mean, honestly, I didn't even think about trading in terms of everyday people. I always thought about institutions. I didn't think it was accessible to everyday people like us. I always thought somebody else kind of managed it. So, I downloaded Robinhood. I did the classic buy a ticker, beginner's luck, do really well, put a bunch of money in at the top, lose all of it. And, that sort of kicked off the trial and error journey that has processed and evolved quite a bit.
Yeah, excellent. We all kind of get started. I mean, if you haven't had a Robinhood account, I don't even think you probably even traded. At least you have had one before. So
Masi's like,
I never had one.
never, not even once.
Nope.
I'm surprised, honestly, because I would love to even hear in the chat who has never had one, because even I've owned one. It's not like I use it on a consistent basis, but I even have it. We'll add up some couple day trades in there every now and then if we need to. Hey, I have a lot of accounts, and that's one thing that once I started getting into the market, of course you start diving in, whether it be books, whether it be different educators. How did you guys, when you first got to that point, okay, I want to learn how to trade, how did you go about learning? Let's go first to Masi.
So when I first started, I completely skipped the learning curve, and I think that's what kind of pushed me back. And it took me a full year before I was ever profitable trading. I just didn't think you had to learn anything. I thought you just buy low, sell high, kind of easy, and that's not how it went at all. And then I just started reading books, looking through different courses, just kind of gaining knowledge through YouTube, and mostly just reading about the stock market. My uncle was really big into the stock market as well, so I would bounce ideas off of him. And then from there, after I lost a couple of accounts, that's when I really decided that, I have to put in more time into the learning curve. And trading for me was a lot of trial and error prior to really becoming profitable. So I always recommend to anyone that asks me how to get started is never try to skip the learning curve, because once you get past that, it becomes a lot easier.
Definitely. I mean, it took me probably a little bit longer than that. I could talk about my stories, but let's go ahead. Let's get to Honeydew. How was it for you? You're kind of a more recent trader here, and I'm
Wow.
sure you started getting into Doge. Doge got you excited, but I'm sure after that you realized, okay, so how do I really start getting into this game? How did you start learning, and maybe some tips that you learned to get you around?
So first, I started out when, like, once I started liking the Doge trade, I started watching YouTube, a lot of YouTube, watching just a bunch of just people having YouTube videos, and I really didn't know how to read a chart or anything. Basically, bought whatever people were saying on the videos. I mean, I found a guy. He was very knowledgeable in, like, just trading comments, and he was the one who introduced me to Discord, because I signed up with his Patreon, and then I got into his Discord, and he was just basically insider trading. And then
Who's that? We could put his name out there. No worries.
um,
We won't hurt him.
So this is a long time. I think it's Ray McBee.
There you go. I mean, whoever it was, it got you started. So
Yes.
I mean,
So
that's
I
what
started
matters.
with him, and he wasn't really good at options. He wasn't even trading options at all. And a friend that I met from his Discord brought me to this other Discord called X Trades, and I got in there and I met my mentor now. I literally stalked him for a long time, because everyone was asking him for charts, and just everyone was asking him for questions, and I kind of watched him, and a lot of his plays they're just spot on. So I started stalking him, basically, watching every move he makes, every comments he makes, and following him, basically. And at first, I did make a lot of friends, and they are more experienced in trading, so they were feeding me plays. So I didn't feel the need to learn how to read a chart. They're feeding me plays, and I started making some money, and then I started losing them all because I don't know about risk management. I blew up 3 accounts in total, and that's when I realized, you know what, I'm gonna have to start learning how to read charts and doing my own trades and just trading on my own instead of just following every single alert I see. And that's what the determination of being profitable and to one day trade full time, that was what made me wanting to learn.
I think it's what we all start for. I mean, at the end of the day, we all get into it. It's a fun game, but there's nothing like it. I mean, at the end of the day, we're all trying to get profitability. Maybe some of us at our different levels of income, but that's the name of the game. Let's go to Swing. So now, Swing Pony, once you got into the mindset that you were going to get into this market, how did you really go about learning and finding some tips to get you over through your learning curve?
So I was very fortunate that shortly after I started my own little trial and error and, just buying random plays, not knowing what I'm doing, I did stumble upon Radio Silent Play as my mentor. And he really set a very strong foundation for me in terms of swing trades. So a lot of, buying at floor levels and then scaling out on the way up. I mean, the way he simplified and taught me was just a fantastic foundation to have. And I didn't know how to read charts at the time either. But every time he would initiate a play or tell us about a play, he would always post a chart alongside it. And I made an effort to make sure that I'm looking at the why am I getting into this? Like, I know I don't have to understand everything that's going on the chart, but like little by little, I need to start picking up on, what this indicator means, what the support level means. And I think just over time, following him and learning his system and then learning from his charts and following along, that helped me a lot. And I will say, for anyone who doesn't feel comfortable with a chart right now, that's natural. The first few times you look at them, you don't know what you're looking at. But I think it's just repetition and exposure, I think, is the most important thing. I mean, I've definitely gone through my share of YouTube videos anytime I don't understand anything, books. But, to this day, nothing beats just screen time and looking at that price action, especially now that I've transitioned to options, like daily screen time, watching price action as it's happening. Nothing beats that. That's the best way to absorb.
Definitely. There's nothing like experience. And I can agree with that completely. I mean, my first 3 years, I was a big kind of scalper momentum trader in all the, chat rooms kind of thing. And that was my thing, and I wanted to be all about speed. Eventually I started slowing that down and being like, you know what? I want to be about consistency. Let's find some consistency. You guys know that I trade mainly common stocks, but I see that you guys all have moved on to options. Maybe I didn't get the memo, but let me know why you guys have chosen options over commons. Let's go to first to Masi.
So when I was trading equities, like I said, I went through 2 accounts. And then when I started my 3rd account, it was in May of 2018, I believe, or 2019. I don't remember exactly. I think 2019. And that was the year where everything just went up. 2019 into 2020 was really easy to trade. And one of my friends introduced me to options, and I stuck to options because pretty much it just clicked. 1 and 2, why not invest less capital to make the same percentage gain, if not more? It was a lot easier for me. I still had my corporate job then to trade options and to be able to scalp options versus scalping equities. I was and still am someone that likes immediate gratification. I don't like to wait on a trade, which is why I scalp. And scalping options was a lot easier than scalping equities. So I just kind of started to get into it in June of that year. And ever since then, I've just been trading options. I've never gone back. I feel like it's one of those things that once you get into it, you don't really go back to trading equities. Anyone that asks me, I'm like, no, it's always options, it's always options. And I think it's a really, really good way to get started trading for any newer trader. I think options is the best way to get started trading versus trading equities. And if I could go back and change it, I would have started trading options first.
Hey, well, you heard it from Masi. She definitely likes the options over the commons. Let's go to Honeydew. What did you got? Did you first start at commons? I would love to know that.
I did first started commons, and ironically, I never blew my account until I started options. When I saw people getting win rates with the options, the really good risk and reward, where you can make 50%, 100% on one play, and with commons, you really can't do that unless you're playing penny stocks. And I remember trying to learn penny stocks, and I really can't read small caps charts like that. I mean, if I try, I can, but I'm not really interested in it. I like large caps because they're very easy to predict. Small caps depends on fundamentals. And I will have to admit that I'm really bad at that. I know I need to learn to trade with fundamentals, but for now I just love technicals and I just fell in love with it. And options is just, after winning, I think my highest percentage was 10,000%, and that was around the 2019 2020 as well. And that's what made me fall in love with options, because I don't think you can, I've never seen anyone trading commons with that percentage of win or profits.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I'll tell you, the profits definitely are lower. That definitely exists in the common game. But it's to each his own. Like just like you said, you didn't see anybody blow up with until you got into the option game, and so there's also sides of risk management to, I think, options that a lot of people kind of go through learning. I can tell you right now. It's kind of crazy, but I don't think I can win on option trades. I suck on options trades like you have nobody's business.
We'll convert you after this. We'll set up a session and we'll get you on
I
board.
see it. I see it.
Wow.
I see me leaning already. But let's go to Swing Pony here. I know that you also did a little swing trading first and then moved a little bit to the option game. So tell me how that transition has gone for you and why you started stepping in further into the option game.
So I was a total small caps trader. I dabbled in OTCs as well. And OTCs, the percentages on those moved quite a bit like options. Yeah. I don't trade those anymore, not a big fan. But what happened for me was we had a really strong year with small caps. I mean, everything was rallying. The whole buy at the support level and scale out on the way up. It was easy back then. And then it got to a point where the IWM, the small caps ETF, we were all waiting for that like Santa Claus rally, or we were all waiting for that time where the stocks would run again. And it just never came. And I got a little bit discouraged with small caps and was like, what can I do? I got discouraged with the fact that I couldn't play both sides. It was like, if the market's not going up, I don't know what to do here. So even, with the Benzinga show and talking to other options traders, I started getting a little bit more tastes of what options entail. And I started dabbling in it. And, kind of like Masi said, once you convert, like you don't really go back. The things for me that are key with options is the way that you're able to put less capital up front for a bigger return percentage. I mean, I think that's huge. Names like Microsoft, NVIDIA, names that you wouldn't maybe have the account to play with commons, you can have access to as options. So I love that. I love the way the percentages move, as the ladies mentioned. And I know, Mitch, like you said, with the big percentages up, there's also a lot of opportunity without risk management to have options go to zero. Happens all the time. But with risk management in place, options are still a game changer. The last thing I will say, which is one of the most important ones for me, is the ability to play both sides. So especially in this market where we've had, red candle, green candle, red candle, green candle, the ability to be in a trade and to be in calls and then instantly see, oh, this isn't going in the right direction, to cut the play and to be able to play the opposite side immediately. Like that's very, very appealing to me.
All right, so now I'm going to get into a good question here. I think it's an important moment. I think a lot of traders go through this moment. There's a moment where you either have you learn a favorite setup, or you have a trading moment where you really have that aha moment. So let's go ahead and try to see where did you guys kind of get that moment where you really started seeing, okay, starting to get this here, starting to see the profits. Let's see what we can do. All right, I'm going to go first to Masi. What was that moment for you?
I don't think it was a specific moment. It was when I started trading Tesla options. And it was at a point where obviously Tesla was just very, very popular in the stock market. It was just going up every single day. Very easy price action to read, very easy price action to trade. And I feel like that's where I was able to gauge and learn most of my options trading by just trading that one stock. And it really, really took my trading to another level because I got so comfortable and it made me so confident with what I knew that trading any other stock, after Tesla became very easy. At that time, Tesla's IV was always higher. It was very volatile. It moved very quickly. And to be able to trade a stock that moves like that, then trading a stock that's low volatility or something like Apple or Nvidia, it became a lot easier. And I think that was when it was my kind of aha moment, or this is working for me, so I'm going to stick to this. And it was constantly scalping Tesla. I wasn't really day trading or swing trading that much back then, mostly just scalping. And that's kind of what trickled into trading other stocks and being able to kind of expand my watch list on a day-to-day basis. But definitely in 2019 into 2020, Tesla was my go-to. And I love that stock so much. I love the company just because it has really, really taken my trading to another level.
Oh, the old mute trick. Nothing like the Tesla Dragon. That's definitely a stock that loves the trend. I've caught it once. At least I can say the only time I've actually held Tesla shares, I've gotten a gain. So, hey, let's do it. Let's go. Let's go. And it's a crazy rider when that thing likes to go. I mean, I can imagine the option game. That's a whole nother level. Let's go to Honeydew here. When do you feel that you started getting maybe a favorite setup or had an aha moment?
Okay, so not real necessarily an aha moment, or actually it was, but it took a while. So before I was just trading levels, and I wasn't really trading for levels, but I remember just getting into trades and it keeps going down. I'll get into a trade and then I'll be negative, and nothing has seemed to go right. And then I remember my mentor Matrix, he said this one day, like, once you start getting experience on this, you'll see in the chart there are like choppy. I learned to recognize where the chop is, because now I learned to buy breakouts and buy breakdowns, and especially for day trading, which is, it's working so well for me. If a stock breaks out, then that is the level where I'll buy calls, and I'll just set my stop loss to if it breaks back below. So trying, like, when I do get into a trade, I don't lose that much because I always set stop loss to where it breaks back below the breakout level. And that has been, I mean, how I realized that's how I like to trade is because I've tested out. I'll do like small account challenges, like $500, $1,000. And if it helped me become profitable, it actually, that strategy has not failed me at all yet. So whatever works, I'll just stick with it. Right. And
yeah. One of the best things is keeping it simple. I mean, let's just be honest. Once you find something that works, there's no point in changing things. Yeah, you go around testing other strategies. I do it all the time too. I'll take a trade that just be like, okay, well, I mean, this is a reversal type of trade. I know the setups, and that's one thing with experience. You get further and further, you realize, okay, well, this is another setup. It's not really my bread and butter, but I don't mind testing a little bit here to find on out. Looks like you're keeping it simple is working for you. Yes. Let's go to Swing Pony. What has been working, or what was maybe an aha moment that maybe it was in the options that you realized, okay, well, forget that swing trading life?
Well, I want to say my aha moment is on the same line as Honeydew's. Like, it all comes down to simplicity. Anytime I've tried to overcomplicate, I've just gotten wrecked by it. So my big thing, I really like, plays that are in a channel, like in a very distinct channel, or they have a very distinct support and resistance, things that are kind of no brainer and obvious. And what I like to do is I have like a database of charts, and I'll go through and I'll map those areas out, and I'll just set alerts on them. And, my big aha moment in terms of options trading and becoming profitable was that, just like with any indicator, any setup, any pattern, there are no guarantees, but as long as you have the risk management in place, then, and you trust your setup, if it runs, it runs. And, just playing off of key levels, support, resistance, breakouts, like the very simple, obvious stuff, I think that has been best for me. Because I agree, the chop, like you can handle chop, you can handle consolidation when playing commons. I loved consolidation in small caps. Options, consolidation will kill you.
No bueno.
Theta burn, it's all that. So
Yeah, definitely. I've been there. Let's just say that's why I don't do it. But let's keep going.
Buy time. You gotta buy time.
Yeah, no, definitely. Further out in time, once you start realizing that if you can go out in time, it's definitely going to help. I think the last question is really the most important question of today. Really, I mean, we can talk about our journey, but why we're here today really is to really, what would you recommend for all the women out there that are trying to get into this industry and become traders? Because I know that there is plenty of women out there that can step into here and probably knock a lot of these boys on out. So, hey, give them some tips, give them some advice, and what would you say to go best about it? Let's go to Masi first.
I think my biggest piece of advice to any female trader that wants to get started or already is in the game is to be confident. I think that's what I lacked when I first started trading. And because 4 or 5 years back, there wasn't a lot of female traders, not that I knew of, that were trading, especially in the options space. And it was very nerve-wracking to be in an industry where it was very male dominated. And I always felt like I couldn't speak on what I knew or speak on my knowledge because I felt because I was a woman, I was not going to be taken seriously. And I wasn't a lot of the time. And still sometimes I feel like women aren't taken seriously. But one thing that I will say is that confidence is everything when you're a trader, just in general. Whatever trade that you take, uh, whatever type of strategy that you're implementing, if you are not confident in what you know, if you're not confident in the strategy that you're implementing or the trades that you're taking, you are always going to struggle. And I think that's the biggest thing in any industry that you're in as a woman, is to just be confident, go into it knowing that you know just as much as another peer, no matter what your gender is or anything like that. And I really, really want more female traders. And I always push all of my female friends to be able to learn how to trade and get into this industry and not be scared, because that's how it was for me. And I want to make it easier, and I want to open the door to a lot of other women that are looking to be able to become traders or just get into the financial industry or anything like that. So definitely be confident in yourself. You guys, I will also say this is that emotionally, not to like drag men or anything, but emotionally, I think traders, female traders, do a little bit better because we are able to control our emotions. So definitely don't be afraid to jump into the space just because you think that there's not a lot of women traders out there. You guys, we need to kind of take over now.
Definitely, I can say it right here. I don't think Masi's lacking any confidence here. So, hey guys, if you guys want to follow Masi, definitely do so. In the description below, you guys can follow all the links. Also, you guys see the tags right there. Let's go to Honeydew. What would you recommend for all the women out there?
So for me personally, I think I started trading a little bit later than Masi, so I never had that feeling where I can't compare with the men, and I've never like been treated that way either. So I would recommend just confidence is key, definitely key, but always be open to new ideas, because I know that I still feel like I'm still humble because I'm still learning every single day. And if someone tells me my strategy is wrong, what I'm thinking is wrong, I'm going to take another look at it. And so don't just like close off on new ideas, because nobody's perfect. No one has 100% win rate. So, and I'm always open to learn. Always be open to learn. And if you see someone that is successful, watch them and learn from them and ask questions. Never be afraid to ask questions, because that's how I learned. That's how I learned with my mentor, where I kept asking him questions. He never offered to teach me or mentor me at all. All I did was just kept asking questions until I know what I'm doing. So don't be afraid to do that.
Yeah, I love both of those. I'm sure you ladies can agree to that. I mean, there's nothing better than just trying to always be a learner. And I mean, I always say from everybody in every trader out there, you can learn a strength. I mean, if they don't have any strength, they're probably just can't even trade. But like if they're a trader and they're trying to learn, you'll find that it's all of it is also based a lot on personality, right? My personality is going to be very different than just your personality. And I mean, I don't think there's any real two personalities that are exactly the same. And so we always got to learn from each other. What are those strengths and weaknesses so that we can implement it in our own strategy? Let's go to Swing Pony. Last one here. I know I kept you guys a little extra. I appreciate you guys sticking around. Definitely you guys in the chat out there, please do us a favor. Over 200 people watching right now. Hit the thumbs on up if you guys have been enjoying the interview. And what do you got for us, Swing Pony? What do you think?
Yeah, so I love what both of the ladies said. I do agree, this is a bit of a boys' club. There's definitely a lot more males trading than females. And so if you do struggle with confidence, if you are afraid to ask questions, it can be a bit of an overwhelming environment where, you don't really want to stand out. You don't want to put your ideas out there. You don't want to ask for help. But you really do have to overcome that because this space is yours just as much as it is the boys. And, like Masi said, I do definitely think we have some emotional tendencies as female that can be a little bit more sound sometimes in terms of risk management, how we handle down days. But ultimately, the other thing that I think is really important is to work on building a community, because if you're doing this solo, it can be lonely, it can be overwhelming. Join other communities, have friends, whether they're learning with you or they're more experienced, bounce your ideas off of them. And then another thing I want to say is to really hone in on your own trading style. I know that when I started out, I was constantly looking at what is so-and-so doing? What is this person doing? What is that person doing? And instead of starting to kind of craft my own plan and then tweaking it based on things I would learn from others, I was trying to be a little bit of everything. And then the moment that I transitioned to trading my way and being confident in my style, that's when things got a lot better. That's when I was more profitable. I was more confident. So, learn what you can from others, but don't hesitate to own your style.
Definitely love it there. Confidence, learning from others, and of course, figure out your plan, right? I mean, at the end of the day, we can learn from everywhere. We can learn from books, we can learn from people, we can learn from mentors. But at the end of the day, we got to have it up here, right? We got to get it all down packed, our own decision making. And I think that's really what trading's all about. Whether you're an options trader, investor, or even if you're a penny stock trader, it's all about getting a plan together and then going about it, worrying about the execution, right? Because we can all have the best plan, but if we don't execute, then we don't bring in the racks, right? That's what we're all here for.
Mm-hmm.
So last things I want to just go quickly around. Masi, how can anybody find you if they want to go ahead and reach out to you, learn a little bit more about your trading?
Definitely check out my YouTube channel at Masi Trades. I post all my videos, live trades on there, a lot of good content on there. So I would first go to my YouTube channel and check that out.
There you go. Honeydew, how can they find you?
Just find me on Twitter.
My
Twitter handle is right there. I'm always there, and I'll answer any questions for new traders.
Yeah, I've been seeing those charts getting put up. So if you guys haven't been seeing those charts, check it on out, guys. Swing Pony, what about you? How can they find you, of course?
I want to vouch for both of them first. Masi's YouTube videos are amazing, and Honeydew has one of the most beautiful charts I have ever seen. So I want to put that out there. I'm on Twitter, so just at Swing Pony. My handle's right there. Feel free to give me a follow, reach out, and I'm here.
Hey, well, thank you. We'll definitely have you ladies on again, and I'll continue watching the journey, and power to you, really.
And thank you, Mitch, for having us on. I appreciate you.
Hey, enjoyed the conversation, and I wish you guys the best. Keep going on your journey.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right, guys, that's going to go ahead and wrap it on up here on Money Mitch. Yes, I did see while we were talking Amazon 20-for-1 stock split. Finally, someone woke up on Amazon. Holy moly, look at that. Look at that big move here. You saw a big old rip there in Amazon. We'll see what happens tomorrow. I'm sure it's going to be all about Amazon talk tomorrow. If you had maybe a call on Amazon, you might wake up rich tomorrow. So I understand the option game too. So, hey, we'll see what happened on that Amazon move, a big move on up. One of the things that I can clearly see was that 3,000 level that I've been watching on Amazon when we broke on the downside. We just cleared it on the upside, then broke it below. We'll see if we can clear that tomorrow. That's what I'll be watching. Of course, keep on watch. Tech, was that a dead cat bounce today, or did we find the bottom in the Qs? I'd definitely be watching to see what happens tomorrow. There's a big resistance above it around 338s there for the Qs. The SPY is starting to make a little bit of bottoming action. The big question is, do we come back here towards the 419 again, or do we get through the 428s tomorrow? That's what I'm going to be watching on the SPY. And like always, guys, we'll keep going right here on live trading in the morning starting at 9:05. Meet me out there, guys. It's going to be a great trading action. I have a feeling that we're going to either get a big breakout level or smack down right back down. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. Like always, guys, if you guys enjoyed today's interview or want to see something different on Money Mitch, sometimes I go through sector analysis, do some more interviews. If you guys enjoyed just maybe a deeper dive conversation today, let me know in the comments after, and I'll see you guys next time. Hit the thumbs on up, and we'll keep it going, guys. Money Mitch, guys. Have a great day.
Check